everybody, and welcome back to the Alternative Volts. This is our first interview on this podcast, actually. And today, for our first interview, we have from Connecticut, Kim Normal.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. What's up?
Hello.
I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Carl.
All right. Sure. I'll go first. Hi, my name's Carl. I sing and I play guitar in the band Kim Normal.
I'm Connor. I play bass and I sometimes sing in Kim Normal.
I'm Ethan, and I play the computer and the trombone.
Yeah, he does.
Jack of all trades.
Okay, so we're going to get into some questions for them. So first I want to ask, how did the two of you meet, Ethan and Carl, to start the band?
Ethan, would you like to start the answer?
Well, one time I was playing with a band of mine in a parking lot when I was 14, because that's where they told us to play. And then a stork dropped him off in the parking lot in a little bundle. Just kidding. He showed up. We were playing at like a flea market, and he showed up with his parents to buy something at the flea market. My band was playing there, and we had just had the guitarist quit, and then so a bunch of stuff happened, and he ended up in the band. We played like 2 songs with him on the spot, and then we saw him again like a little bit after that. And I started playing with him for a couple years, and then we were having to play at like, I don't know, some farmer's market or something one time. They asked us to play a really long set, and then we didn't know that much material with our other band, but we realized that we knew that much of the same like covers together, so we just decided to start playing the two of us. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Great, just like that. What a true love story right there.
You guys are from Connecticut.
Yep.
In terms of the overall scene in Connecticut, do you guys want it to overall get bigger and have more people know about it, or have it stay more underground?
Jeez. Well, I don't know if you knew this, but Kim Normal is actually, we came up with a master plan for world domination. Not even just in terms of music. Like, I'm talking legitimate dictatorship. We plan on taking over every aspect of the world, you know, musically, politically. It's, you know, because we're going to start with Connecticut, and then we're going to go more New England, and then it's America, and then once we have America, we have the world. So it's definitely more of a world thing. Just, it's coming from us personally, you know?
That's something I can respect.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that was a different question.
I don't think that's what.
Oh, you're talking about our music. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like it to
I
blow
don't
up.
I don't think that would happen for some reason, just because we don't really have any big cities or anything, and like people aren't really paying a lot of attention to geographical area that we come from, and just because like everybody who gets kind of successful ends up leaving usually anyway to go to a city nearby. Well, I wouldn't mind. That'd be cool.
I mean, to get to the heart of your question, there's a lot of really cool music here that I think that like more
Yeah.
people outside of just our area should know about. So in that sense, yeah, it should be bigger, I guess. You know,
I mean, here at my state, there really isn't like any kind of indie scene. So like to see like an indie scene in a state it's pretty cool to see. So I was just wondering what you guys thought about that. Yeah,
What state are
definitely.
you from?
I'm from Maryland and Lane's from Pennsylvania.
okay.
Oh,
So-
there's scenes
What part of
there. There's
Pennsylvania?
scenes everywhere.
Yeah,
There are scenes
I mean,
everywhere. It's just hard to. It depends what part of the state you're in and everything too.
I'm kind of like in the lesser known area, and I there's a few local grunge bands and stuff, but like they're all in their mid 40s. So
Are you familiar
Yeah.
with the Eastern Shore, because
I know you guys get these questions all the time, so I'm just going to keep it at one. The rest talking about the original music. So I see a lot of comments asking, are you considering continuing the album cover series, or are you going to focus on original music from here on out?
Focus on original music from here on out. The only
not really considering it.
Yeah, there is no. Yeah, I mean, the simple answer for that is when we originally started doing the cover series videos, when Ethan and I first kicked them off, one of our main goals with it is like, you know, the reason we did it was to pay respects to the artists that we did them for. And like our main thing was like, it'd be really awesome if, you know, someone that was involved with one of these albums could at least see it and acknowledge that, you know, we really care. And thankfully, Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins saw the video we did.
That was
Decided
actually my
to
next
really-
question. So that's
Yeah,
great.
so since he
What was your
acknowledged it-
reaction to that? What was your reaction to Billy Corgan liking and the thing is Billy Corgan's like really I don't want to say overprotective, but overprotective when it comes to the Siamese Dream album.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
when it comes to the Siamese Dream album. So how do you feel that he approves your cover of that?
It's kind of in disbelief because he hates a lot of things, and like I didn't anticipate him liking what we did, but I mean it's cool, and I'm glad he did. But
I
you know,
I
after,
can't even tell you how many accounts he blocked me on just for saying like I like your music and stuff. So
blocked you.
yeah, he blocked. Yeah,
He's a notorious blocker on
Oh,
Instagram.
Billy
for
Corgan blocked
things.
you. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Billy Corgan. Yeah.
I thought you were
was
saying
just,
I blocked you. I was like, no.
I was like I was always like saying like, hey, I like your music and stuff. Sierra's a good album, and he blocked me for some reason. I don't understand. I wasn't even being obnoxious. It wasn't even the full paragraphs or anything. It was just like a little sentence.
Jeez,
So-
I got
all
blocked by Marky Ramone.
Yeah,
You tried to get
Yeah.
blocked
Okay.
from Marky
So
Ramone.
the thing
Marky
with
Ramone.
is that like
Marky
I
Ramone.
wanted to get blocked, and I left what some people would consider very aggressively romantic comments. Yeah. Okay, so what I did is I was just like, yo, Marky, listen, I know we've had our differences in the past, but I really think that we could overcome it, and I believe in us, so I really want us to fight this, and I can't wait to see you later tonight. And then he would comment like a question mark, and then
And
another
once he
one,
was like,
the one that got
cool
me,
it.
the one that got me, yeah, the one that got me blocked was I went, hey, Marky, you look really cute in this, and he went, cool it, and that's when I got blocked.
It's like
Oh,
a year and
man.
a half ago, and it's still funny.
It still is, so yeah. I got blocked by
Oh.
my phone.
But yeah, the Corgan thing was cool.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was kind of like it was getting to the point where we really just wanted to focus on our own stuff anyway.
Mhm.
And then after he did that, it was like, well, if we even attempt to do anything after this, it's going to be nowhere near as cool and fulfilling for us. And it was, you know, it was time to move on. So
I mean, the Nirvana covers altogether like have a crazy amount of views. Like Nevermind had 3 million, and In Utero was like 700,000, and Bleach did really good too. I'm pretty sure it. I think one of the remaining members of Nirvana probably saw one of those. Like never really talked about it. I just like to think that.
maybe. I don't know.
Is that a theory or do you-
That's a theory.
I mean
You see all the comments complain. There's like a bunch of comments pretending to be Chris Novoselic. I mean, who knows? Might just be one.
maybe he has a fake account.
Perhaps.
Somewhat relating to that, for each individual member of your band, what are the bands that inspire you the most, or the singular artists that inspire you the most?
Jeez.
For like our whole lives.
That's a-
or-
Yeah, just
mu-
overall
yeah, sure.
music.
I don't know. That's sort of like a tough question, just because like it's so much like it's just so more complex than saying one favorite artist. Because like you can ask me what my favorite album is, and then a week from now I'll give you a complete different answer.
Yeah.
So I guess it's more like what I'm listening to at the moment that really
Right.
like dictates what my favorite is. You know what I mean? Like right now I've been listening to like a lot of like Richard Hell, so I've been listening to a lot more of like that 70s like heroin punk rock from that came out of New York. So like
Yeah.
that's at least what I'm listening to right now. But that could be totally different in like a week or two or something like that,
Mhm. Definitely. I mean, Lane's like that a lot. It's just his number one album just never changed at all. Like every other album on the list changed, but his number one
Yeah.
didn't. So
What's number one?
Plastic
Oh,
Ono Band.
Classic Ona Band by John Lennon is my number
That's a
one.
That's a great fucking choice. It's a great choice.
Yeah,
Mine right now is Superfuzz Big Muff. I think. I don't know. I
That's a
change
good-
it a lot.
A good choice too.
also a good choice.
Okay.
You guys
Yeah,
have
I
an
mean,
answer?
I mean, kind of seconding Connor's thing. Like in terms of like inspirations, it changes for me often. Like in terms of what I'm listening to. Like right now, I've been really into I've been on a massive Frank Zappa kick because Zappa rules. So I've been on like a big Zappa kick. I've been on a big Cure kick. So Robert Smith has been infiltrating his way into my playing and stuff like that. But in general, I mean, there's a few people like going way to the beginning when I started playing music, like watching a guy like James Hetfield or something like as a rhythm and like singer in a band and him being charismatic as he is, like seeing that when I was a kid was like, kind of gave me the push to want to do what I do now.
Mhm.
So if I had to pick like one guy that started everything, maybe him. I don't know.
Yeah, it's also kind of hard to say because I had like one very similar music taste for a lot of my life, and then I just like went down a lot of different rabbit holes throughout the last many years. So it's been changing a lot, and like I don't listen to a lot of my like childhood favorite albums really anymore.
Mhm.
But definitely like all most of the stuff that has like inspired me to do my own stuff has been just things that have like strong like DIY ethos and stuff like that. So I mean, I was like a huge Green Day fan for like my whole childhood, and that like what my parents
Yeah.
listened to. Like one of the things my parents listened to that I like latched onto a lot. And just like reading about like how they became a band and like the DIY-ness of like their scene and everything, how they kind of like brought themselves up, was very inspiring. And then I started listening to a lot of music that was like made by one person by themselves in their basement, kind of stuff like that. And
Like the first Foo Fighters album, pretty much. Like,
yeah, like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
Ty Segall was like my recent favorite artist for many years. And he used to at least make all of his records by himself, like in basements and stuff like that.
Mm.
And then like Basement of Death and like that kind of like lo-fi sort of stuff that people would just make by themselves in a basement and like promote by themselves and like do the whole thing DIY. Like a lot of that stuff is what inspired me most. And then there's like countless other things in different genres and everything also that have influenced me like musically. This is a big one right here. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely hard to say. But
Big question. You got 3 tiny sized answers.
But I'm kind of a guitar gearhead, so this question's for Carl. You've been playing the new Black Jazz Master, and it wasn't in the gear video. And I heard that you built it with a friend. Can you teach? How was the process like building the Jazz Master?
Oh man, well it was crazy. So basically, what happened was I came to the end of my high school career, and to kind of commemorate it, I was like, hey, you know what? Just to remember that I did something over the summer in like high school and all that, I'm to build this guitar. So basically, what I did was, one of my relatives is a woodworker, and he had been talking for years, like, hey, we could do this, we're gonna build it, and all this. And he was like, thought that it was kind of he thought it was kind of going to be a walk in the park, and I was like, well, hold on, there's a lot that goes into it. I don't know. So then I reached out to him, and he was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do this. Trust me, blah, blah, blah. So basically all we did was I ran online, and I ended up buying, I think it was like a Reverb page, and some guy was like parting out an American Performer Jazz Master. So he ripped the whole thing apart. It's like I bought the neck and like the neck plate and the pick guard with all the electronics already pre-wired because I don't know a thing about any of that.
That's
So
a good
once we got
choice. I can't wire this thing to save my life.
Yeah, so once we got all the pieces and everything together, I basically took it to my cousin's house, my relative. Then he was like, all right, so here's what we're going to do. We downloaded some templates and we made the body. So what we actually made together was the body of the guitar, measuring everything, because we based all the measurements off of the J Mascis Jazz Master that I've been playing for years because I love the way it feels. I was just kind of looking for a different sound and different aesthetic choice. So it's all based on that, the measurements and everything. We just made the body and then pieced it all together. I mean, it turned out great. I mean, it was on a bunch of the albums and stuff like that. Like it was on the new album a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, most of it at least.
But we have quite a few questions about the new album, so
Yeah, we'd love to answer them.
So for the new album, all the other stuff you've released previously, how is this going to be more of a departure from the other stuff? What makes it stand out?
It's really, really, really good.
Good answer.
That's a valid answer.
We're just trying more stuff, like I was thinking about this because I've been listening to it a lot because I've been like, mixing it and shit. I've been thinking about this. I just think we have like developed into our own kind of sound a little bit more. Like our last album was a little bit more I mean, we still wear our influences on our sleeve just because that's like, I don't know. That's just how we are sometimes, but we have, I think, kind of dove more into our own direction that sounds more like us than it does other things with this one.
Yeah.
And we're not taking like any extreme risks. We're not like doing anything like crazy experimental, but we're doing more stuff that we wouldn't have been comfortable doing, I think, before. Some of it on purpose and just naturally.
Well, one thing that I noticed about it is a lot of the songs are in alternate tunings. Like we messed a lot with like different guitar tunings and stuff like that, which impacted the way the songs were written and the way that they'll sound to people. So I thought, okay, I want to give us all credit because we're all equally important here. But yeah,
song that's a stupid tuning for this album.
He did. Yeah, but basically that was a big thing. Tuning was a big thing. And I feel just kind of like in the process of writing things I thought were more collaborative this time around because you got to realize you got to realize that when we did On Your Own Wave, Connor came in and joined the band like right at the end of that writing process. So he wasn't really, he wasn't really able, just because of time, to really get in there and really, all three of us do the, like we're in a room doing this. And we weren't able to do that because he got there at the end. So this time it was awesome to have.
Sorry, we recorded that album like a month after we started playing with him. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this time around, it was awesome, like to actually have him in there and have him really directing at some points in terms of how to do things. And it was awesome to have him as a songwriting partner and as a songwriter, because Connor has 2 songs on this record.
I could definitely hear like a really strong kind of difference between these songs from the new album and On Your Own Wave. I want to ask about Your Pearl, the instrumental album. So how do you guys come up with this? Was this kind of like a little fun thing to do, or was it like planned out, or how did this come to be, the instrumental album?
Well, as I recall
like,
it,
oh, what if we did this, bro? And then
yeah, and more or less, Ethan and I think we just kind of viewed it as a way to, because I had never been in a studio or done any recording myself or anything like that, because at this point, most of, if not all of Fungus was already written. So what happened was, so basically I didn't really know what to do. So we kind of just figured, hey, we're really into bands. Like at the time we were listening to a lot of Queens of the Stone Age and like Sleep and the Melvins and stuff like that. So we're like, hey, just so we can kind of figure out how we're going to, work together in this setting in terms of that, why don't we just, do that starting point?
The impetus of it, because it makes no sense why we would decide to like switch instruments for our first release and make an instrumental thing of a genre that we don't make music in. It makes no sense whatsoever. We were just like, I was like at his house one time and we were bored of doing whatever else we were doing, so we switched, because we used to do that a lot more. And we were just jamming on some T standard riffs that I was coming up with, like on the spot.
So like, were they written beforehand, or were they more of just like jams on the spot?
I recall like a couple of them. We like had produced in jams, just like improvisatorily, and then we were just like voice memo or something. And then a lot of what is on that, like, which I don't really consider to be one of our like releases really anymore. I guess technically it is, but like, I don't really consider it within our canon necessarily. But whatever is on that, like half of it I made up while we were playing. And then like, I mean, we didn't like write drum parts or anything.
Nope.
Like a couple of the, like basically like the main riff in each song, like I came up with. Carl played guitar on like the last song too. And then like I would make up a bass line under it. Like we recorded the guitar and the drums live at the same time through a bass amp. The drums are in mono, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's a mess. But
yeah, but our thing, it was really like, as I recall it, basically as he was saying, we would walk in, we'd be like, okay, we're gonna do the one that we're gonna do the jam that has this riff on it, and then we would like play the riff through once, be like, all right, hit record, and then we would kind of just like do it and look at each other for changes and stuff, and that was about it. And then we just did a few overdubs, came up with titles for everything. It was just like a really loose and fun way to just kind of get accustomed to recording with each other. That's how I view it,
All right, one last follow-up question I just want to ask out of curiosity, Lynn, sorry. But
Sure.
how did you come up with the title Red, White, and Screwed? That was I thought that was like when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. It was kind of like eye-catching. So how do you come up with that?
it popped into my head. That's literally the answer.
Just like that?
I was just like, oh wait, no. Actually, the answer is there's a song on the first Queens of the Stone Age album, and I misheard a lyric as that.
Wait, which one?
I think the lyric is "Drink wine and screw." It's from Walking.
Oh,
Drink wine and screw, and I thought he said "red, white, and screwed," and I was like, "That's funny."
I didn't know that. That rules.
We briefly mentioned the Fungus EP earlier. By the way, I love the album cover. The cover overall for the EP. I think it's really cool.
Hey, thank you.
Oh yeah, and my question is about the cover. What's exactly on the cover? Because it is a really eye-catching cover, but it's a little bit difficult to figure out what everything is in it. So what exactly is on the cover for Fungus?
So you see, this was back.
If anybody knew what it was. I don't even remember what it is. Yeah.
Honestly, so basically, what happened was
answer this question. See what he comes up with.
Yeah, Connor, what's on the cover for Fungus?
Okay, so what it is that okay, all right. So all right. So do you know that feeling when like you show up to like your little cousin's birthday party and like everyone's like 5 and you're just like an adult standing there. You're like, okay, well I'm here just for the kid, but I'm bored. And then you just kind of stand off in the corner and like mind your own business, and you're kind of like staring at like a little worm like walking by because it's a 5-year-old's birthday party. Like, what do I have to be here for? That is sort of the ethos of the cover of Fungus. That is exactly what it is.
That made
I
perfect
thought you
sense
were
to
gonna say
me.
that's what it felt like when he joined the band.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's what the cover of Fungus is.
To reveal the
Keep playing
answer,
this microphone.
to reveal you the answer. So back in the day, I had a really shitty Samsung phone. I still have a shitty Samsung phone, but this
Hey.
one was even. But this one was even
This
worse.
that one was so much worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was we finished the EP, and it came to the point where we were going to get CDs made. Or no, we weren't even at that point. We were going to put it out. We were like, well, what are we going to do for the cover? And I didn't realize that, because I was very green to all of this when I first started, so I didn't know, like, oh, bands will actually go and like get artists and photographers, and I was like, well, fuck that, I'm just gonna do it myself. So basically, I walked outside, and I had this bird bath, and in the bird bath, like the way it's designed, there's like a stone frog sitting on the lip of the bird bath. So I had that. I positioned that like in the garden in front of my house, and then the little green worm Fungus character, one of my relatives made that in high school. So like it's actually made out of clay. It's a little clay statue. So I just took that and I put it on the like the lip of the fountain. And then from there, I took the photo, and all I did was I went into like the, you know how like on phones there's like the pre-selected, or there's like the photo editor that's in the camera app.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just took that and I just threw it to like the negative setting or whatever, like that. And then I sent it to Ethan with no text, and I was like, how's this? And then he was like, okay, cool, 1 second. And then he went through the text on it, and that's it.
So this is, I believe, your first music video. I can remember
It
what
is.
it's called. Yeah, you released 3 singles, so I'm getting confused on all 3. But
We get
so
confused.
so how do you come up with the idea of the music video?
Connor, take that one.
I poached that idea from my brother. He was telling me, like, and this was like years ago. He said, I think it'd be really cool if there was this music video, and he wasn't even talking about it just for Kim Normal. He was just talking about it in general. How like it'd be cool if there's a music video where it's just like the band's in a car, and as the song goes on, each person switch positions. And I always like kind of had that in the back of my head. And when Ethan first sent us the mix for Here and Now, I'd only exclusively listen to it in the car, and it just really felt like a driving song. And I just kind of took the feeling of it being a driving song, and then remembered that video idea my brother had, and then I texted my buddy Joe, who works down at a venue in Willimantic that I help run with, and Joe Mama, and him and like a bunch of my buddies, they're all good with video editing. I said, hey, can we do this like this Tuesday? And they went, yep. We shot the whole thing in like 3 hours. It took like maybe a day of editing, and then it was all set.
Yeah, like the speed that those guys finished the video with was absolutely insane. Like I couldn't believe, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Yeah,
Maybe 2.
yeah, it was pretty fast. I think maybe 2 weeks. I don't remember, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was real, like, we were real economic with our time.
The camera kept dying while we were in the car.
Yeah, we kept overheating the camera. Camera kept dying, and we didn't have it attached to anything on the dashboard either. So we would like if we took a wrong turn or something, the camera would slide. I feel like there's actually a shot of that happening in the video, but I couldn't
There
find.
is.
Yeah, we need a bloopers video for that. Yeah.
There's one shot where there's a mystery woman driving, and we're all somewhere else in the back seat.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask about that. Who's that?
Secret.
You don't want to know.
We found her.
No.
Um,
On the street, just
Kim.
pick her up, say,
that's you'd be mad at me for keeping her identity secret, but anyway, she was just like whipping us around.
And like every time she would turn, be like, "Hey, you gotta like slow down." She went, "Oh, okay," and then she would take the most violent turn and then completely knock off the camera. So there's only like,
Yeah.
and I'm not even shitting you. There's only like maybe 10 seconds of her driving that are usable. The rest we had to can because she refused to drive slow.
so
Sure.
I heard in an old interview that there was a plan to go on a few states for a tour. Is this
There was.
still on?
Oh yeah.
Well, it was gonna happen in June 2020. So
Well, that's
To answer your question, yeah, we are planning on doing something soon. We are planning on trying to get. Granted that
Not-
things are safe to do so,
ooh,
you know,
but,
we'd like to
soon.
we'd like to be able to get out of state and play other places. Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
So-
Green
so
Day,
we're working
Weezer,
on
and
it.
Fall Out Boy are there, so why not you? You know, go ahead.
Well, I mean, they're Green Day,
Yeah,
Fall Out
it's
Boy, and
something.
Weezer. They're
Okay,
also
that's
playing
true.
like they're also playing like
Like
Big
80,000
stadiums.
stadiums with like
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I read this big article today about how like it's like some health professional was like, yeah, it's a massive health scare that they're doing this and blah blah blah, and I was like, oh geez. So I don't know.
They needed to sell Van Weezer though.
They
Yeah.
did.
It did, yeah, because that's not doing too well for them.
All right, so I'm going to keep going on the album cover train because I love me some good album art. And
All right.
I think overall the On Your Own Wave cover, this is the first thing that I really like about it. What strikes me the most is the colors, except for how colorful the album cover is. Who made it and how was it created?
It's a long involved question. It's longer than you
no,
would
it's-
think.
No, it's not.
It's longer than
almost
you
the
would think.
It's actually like the same kind of thing as Carl's other answer or the other thing, just with like less of.
Just like some PNG off Google or something.
Actually, no, I took that picture out of I was in class in my freshman year of college, and I was messing around. I was like walking around my neighborhood for a while, trying to take pictures of buildings because I was like, I don't know, I was trying to take aesthetic building pictures to use for album art because we were like in the process of coming up like creating and like the songs for the album at that point. And I spent like a bunch of hours walking around my neighborhood taking pictures of buildings. And they were all like bad. And then I was like in class right after that, and then I just like took a picture of the building across the street at the window. And then I was like, oh, that was pretty cool actually. And then I put it in just some like free photo editing app, and it's like really really low quality. Like if you actually like don't do this, but if you like look really closely at it, like it is like incredibly like grainy and distorted and stuff. And like on the streaming services and like Bandcamp and stuff, I had to put it in like a photo enlarger. I'm not proud of it, but that's true.
I mean, I guess it's job. I thought it was pretty cool.
Thanks.
Part of me recalls also taking it at some point and like kind of messing with colors or something on my own, but that could be a lie.
Yeah, we had a bunch of different people mess with it. I'm pretty sure we just ended up using the original one.
Yeah. Something
Nice.
like that.
One of the biggest events in the band history is the name change earlier on. How was that? How was the overall idea for the new name of the band, and how did the name change overall go with the fans and just the band as a whole?
Well,
Everybody was
there's
like,
two.
"Thank God."
Well, there's two main there's two main factors that drove it. The first one that really isn't all of that important is when we went to go put our music on streaming services. Basically, we gave our music to the third party people that get our music on streaming services, and then they sort it. So once it got sorted on all these wrong pages because we were called No Idea, and there's a bazillion bands named No Idea. So we got put on all the wrong pages, and then I went in to fix it, and I found somewhere some page was like, you have to contact the original band that your music is on, and they'll text blah 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 or call blah blah blah, and they'll fix it. It was this whole thing. So I messaged this one band that was like a hardcore band from New York that had that name. Then they hit us back and they were like, "Oh, hey, we have exclusive rights to this name, and we're going to sue you," and all this malarkey. Whether it's true or not, no idea. But
No pun
idea.
intended there.
No pun intended. So malarkey. So that was half of it. The other half of it too was kind of, since Connor kind of just joined the band at that point, it was kind of it was like the most opportune time to do it as well. It kind of marked a new era for us in a way as well. So once
we didn't like mean to have that name in the first place, really. Like
right,
it was just like a placeholder thing that we went with.
Yeah, because when we got asked to do those farmers market gigs that Ethan was talking about earlier, we got asked to do it. Our little thing that we were doing had no name. So they asked us for a name, and Ethan just kind of quipped, "I have no idea what our name should be." And then I was like, "Oh, okay, fine. We'll just go with that." Like, we never were, like, married to the name and loved it. It just kind of happened. So we weren't
trying to be a band or anything either. We were just like, we're going to play a bunch of songs for some old people.
Yeah, exactly.
were like 14 and 16. So.
Yeah, we were just two friends trying to do stuff, and then we were like, hey, we're really good at this. Like, why don't we, actually make this something legit and do this? So once Connor got there and this whole Spotify Haskell thing got fixed, we were like, all right, not running into that again. We should pick a new name. So Ethan bought me this book it was either my birthday or Christmas, as I recall. Christmas. Thank you. They're super close. So anyway, he bought me this book, and it was talking about like how music works and how it interacts with people up here and stuff like that. And they were talking about types of music listeners that when they listen to music, they're not listening to it for like complexity and all that, but they're listening to it for how it impacts them on an emotional level. And they called those type of people Kim Normals. I was like, and I remembered that phrase. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. So when we all sat down to try to think of something, I had like just read that passage in the book, and I remembered it, and I said it. And then we were kind of all like, But I mean, I think it's gone over well.
Yeah.
I think people are more
Now, according to
responsive
that one
to the
asshole,
name.
though,
What's that?
What
apparently our band name is uninviting. I've heard that one before.
Oh yeah. What?
Where was that again?
That was
It
on
was like on
YouTube.
a
Some
comment
guy
on
was
our-
like, "You guys are
video.
creative, but your band name is very uninviting."
So besides that
Oh,
guy,
Right, I didn't invite him to shit.
Yeah.
so besides that
correct.
person, I think the name change has gone over really well. I mean, I'm much happier and more content with that than our original name. And people seem responsive to it, so it's all good. It all worked out.
Your original practice space for a long time was Ethan's basement.
Still
I could be
is.
wrong.
How do you-
Still is.
Nardwar, dude, he's Nardwar.
You're
Yeah.
Lily Vert. We have to know.
You're Ethan Williams. We have to know.
You sound just like him, actually. That sounds just like Nardwar.
I practice that. I practice the Nardwar impersonation, dude. Practice it all the time.
A Rob Zombie
A
poster.
Rob Zombie poster.
I heard that you actually switched the practice space for a little bit. There's a few pictures of you guys like practicing kind of like a shed little thing.
Been a while.
You're not practicing there anymore. You went back to Ethan's house.
Yeah,
Basement?
because we're all vaccinated and we've all been safe and cautious, so we can actually do that now.
I
But
see.
yeah, at the beginning when the pandemic broke out and everything, we were all super cautious because it was like it's this deadly, crazy, scary thing.
Well, there's
But
this
we still
virus.
but we still needed.
low-key
but it-
pandemic.
But it got to the point where we worked enough, like through WhatsApp and texts and stuff, sending voice memos back and forth, and it got to the point where we were like, okay, we need to actually get in a room and do this. So if we need to space out or whatever, we will. So yeah, we practiced in a garage for a few times, and that was really the times when we were hammering out the songs that would make up Picturesque, which is coming out. That's really what we were doing at that time. So we would just spend do 9-hour days in this garage, sweating it out with no AC.
It was like-
fans.
It was like 9 hours a day, 3 days a week, every week for about 2 months.
It was unhumanly hot. Like it was
Ooh.
ridiculous. So
Was this like
definitely-
during the summer or?
Yeah, it was during
Yeah,
the
we
summer.
started doing that last June, so at the end of June
Yeah.
last year.
Yes, but like our kind of like crowning moment in there is we recorded the Amistad EP there, and then once we did that, we were like, all right, cool. Our time with the garage is done. We did that, and then we kind of just migrated back to what we usually do.
Well, thank you for saying that because I was about to ask about the cover little album thing, and I always
Yeah.
thought it was Amstand. So thank you for correcting me. But so how do you go about picking the covers for that little album thing?
Well, it was a very subversive, kind of difficult time, and we wanted to do something to make a difference and like contribute to the Black Lives Matter movement in any kind of way. So we picked a few things that were like honoring like some of the like Black musicians that gave us the music that we live upon, and then also a couple songs that were like relevant to how we were feeling politically.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
basically- yeah.
Yeah,
So, like,
it was just like,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I didn't have anything important to say. I was gonna make a joke, but it was awful, so I stopped myself. Thankfully. All right, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I mean the main thing is it was just like we would show up to practice and we were having a good time doing our thing, but at the same time with like all this crazy shit going on in the world and reading about it, it was like to me it was just this extremely mind-numbing and depressing and defeating thing, realizing that like the world we were living in in the world we are living in, 'cause the shit's not over. Like that's what's
Yeah,
happening.
definitely.
We were like, okay, well, obviously us three aren't going to be able to stop everything on a worldwide scale, but we could at least try to do something to make some kind of difference within our local community. So then once that happened, us three sat down. We were like, okay, yeah, we got to pick some songs, like Ethan said. And then we picked what we picked.
All right.
Connor, do you have any comment on any of that?
I'm trying to think. I mean, it's really weird because like even though it was for like a very important and serious thing, it I don't know, it was kind of fun doing it. You know what I mean? Even though it was for something very like all important and serious, and it was something we wanted to do honorably and respectfully. I don't know. It kind of was like a high point in like part of like a really shitty year. You know what I mean? Even though we're doing something for a cause that is very, real and serious and, needs to be addressed and done right. It was just one of those parts that like during a really rough year, that was a high point. Just us like, sweating our balls off in Carl's garage, not even just working on the songs of the album, but working on these covers and jamming on them. It was one little like, hey, maybe everything is going to be just a little bit all right, just like being with my buds, recording and rehearsing this stuff.
It wasn't for a long time.
Because it was awful. It was very awful for a very long time. But like those couple days or those couple weeks where it was just us like in the garage for hours on end, it was like you kind of forgot that there was an outside world, and the only thing that mattered was like that fucking garage.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it also kind of helped us get back in the groove of recording music because once we had the songs for Picturesque written and we did that, then it was kind of came full circle. It was like, okay, we're all, we're better than ever now with playing because we've been sweating it out in this garage for months on end for countless hours a day. So we've got that, and now we've actually, gone back in, recorded, successfully done it, and we were able to help out our community in doing that. So it was awesome. Like Connor was saying, it was a really good, feel good way to, give back to people and get things moving again.
Yeah. So overall, with the label, the label you guys are recently signed to, how was that like? The whole process of getting signed and just how it affected your output.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief.
It's a great start.
Yeah. So Leg Drop Records is essentially a record label me and my buddies started down at because we have I don't know if you guys know, but we have this venue over in Willimantic called the Psych Shack. It's run by Joe Lemieux. He's like the main proprietor, and we have like a group of people working with it who like really help. It's just a venue. We just book shows and shit like that. But then the label is just sort of like a sub part of it, but it's not necessarily a label. Yeah. It's more or less Joe has just this master like list of just resources such as like Spotify playlists, radio stations, and like music blogs and reviews and just like that. It's just a matter of going out and doing it yourself. So it's called a label for it to be more professional looking and seeming, but it's really just every band who's signed to Leg Drop is pretty much just doing what they already do with just some help, and it looks more professional if you have like a label on it.
Yeah, because I saw you guys did Acid Cats, the Acid Cat radio station kind of thing. So I was like,
right. Which is kind of where that started.
That's exactly what Leg Drop is. It's just a couple buddies who just help each other out. You know what I mean? And since if Psych Shack, the venue, like gets extra money and stuff like that, since Leg Drop is a part of Psych Shack, it would go into Leg Drop. And if a band needs help financing, say like getting an ad out on Instagram, or they want to do one of those pay-to-play playlists, instead of it coming out of our pocket.
Real quick, all I wanted to say is I kind of see Leg Drop Records, like that name. The way I see it and what's kind of happening is it's almost like a calling card for a lot of bands that we're friends with in, the Connecticut scene. Like we can all kind of come together under this one banner and be unified under that. So like if someone sees that name, if someone sees the name Leg Drop Records and they go to read about Leg Drop Records and what it is, you're not just gonna see one band from this area. You're gonna get to see multiple bands. So that's why I like it, because it's like if you see that, then it's kind of like almost like a central hub for our friends' bands and what's happening. It's a collective.
It's not the first time somebody in our scene has done that, and that's like
no, not at all.
A lot of people been doing stuff like that. All that we all know
All
each
right.
other.
But yeah, it's not like working with Capitol Records or anything like super
Yeah.
intensive like that or anything. It's just us. It's just friends helping friends.
Other than On Your Own Wave, when you went to the studio to record some drums and little guitar parts, this is your. I don't know if it's a full studio album or not, but I saw a few pictures of you guys actually in the studio recording. Is this a studio album? Or
Yeah,
Yes.
your ass is.
100%. It is a studio release.
for Fungus and On Your Own Wave, that was recorded mostly in Ethan's basement, I believe, right?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay. And then so this is this your full? This is the first full studio album,
Sort of.
sort of.
Sort of.
More
We
or
still-
less, more than the other ones, yeah, because
We did all the instruments in the studio, and we just did vocals and maybe 1 or 2 guitar overdubs in Ethan's basement.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this was the first time that we were actually able to get like the bulk of the guitars, both bass and electric guitar, done in the studio. Because prior to that, we did both of the EPs all in Ethan's basement, and then for On Your Own Wave, we did just the drums
And 53 too.
Yeah.
there. And 53, yeah, we did 53,
53.
all in Ethan's basement.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And 53 was co-written with a temporary bassist, I believe.
Well-
and he played on Siamese Dream or Bleach.
He played on so that's my buddy Tristan Harrison, our bro.
Hey, is Narwhal.
Yeah, Tristan. Yeah, but yeah, Tristan filled in because we didn't know Connor at that point. So Tristan helped us with the Siamese Dream video because we were like, okay, if we're gonna do this and we're gonna do it right, we're gonna need a bassist, and Tristan's a good friend of ours. So we asked him to do it. He did, and then he came to my house one day.
At the time.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so then he just we were just hanging out at my house one day and he was like, "Hey, I got this song and I don't really know what to do with it." So he showed me this song and it had the little intro bit, like the first like 20 or 30 seconds of 53. He showed me that and I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And he said, "Yeah, I don't know what to do with any of this, so just take it and do whatever you want with it." So I just I forgot the rest of the song, admittedly, because there was a lot of changes, like chord changes and stuff. So I just remembered the main riff and I was like, "All right, got this," wrote the rest of it, verse, chorus, solo, all that stuff, wrote the lyrics, and then showed it to him. But yeah, he planted the seed for that song to start.
Oh, a huge credit for you for only having one guitarist on Siamese Dream.
Thank you.
That's
what's
a
the
huge achievement. I can never do that.
How do you guys go about writing songs?
Well,
Hmm.
I mean, I'll answer it in like a really basic way, and then we can embellish on it as we go. But basically, the main process for me is what I'll end up doing is things 9 out of 10 times always start with the music because I was never taught to sing or taught how to write lyrics or anything like that. I was taught to play guitar. Like I actually took guitar lessons. So I consider that my primary thing. So I'll start there. I'll sit with a guitar, see if I found anything, plunk out anything that sounds cool. And if I do, I'll get the guitar done, like the guitar part, and then I'll have a melody, then lyrics to go over that. I'll pen all those down, and then I'll take my phone out, do a little voice memo thing, and then I'll shoot it off to these guys so they can say, "Hey, this is awesome," or "Hey, this sucks, we hate it," and kind of get the consensus.
We've yet
of
to
what
say
we're all
that, though.
thinking.
To be fair,
Yes.
we've yet to say that we hate anything.
Because you
That is
two are
true.
very kind, and we all work really well together. But yeah. So that's my main thing. Usually it's like I'm doing that with the song, I send it to them, they're like, "All right, cool, we like it. Next practice we'll dive in on it and go from there."
Right.
That's
All
what
right,
I
so-
do. When I bring stuff to the table, at least.
I throw shit at a wall and hopefully it sticks. And I'm not even kidding you. That's how I write songs. I just throw a lot of shit at, like, one of the songs on the album. It's called Jerome Kern. It started off really as a Remo Drive ripoff, and there was one riff that was like 5 seconds long, and Carl said make that the whole entire song, and so we just threw shit on a wall and it stuck. And the second song that I wrote, I'm So Comfortable, I wrote in 45 minutes by just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it would stick.
The songs that take the least amount of time always happen to be like the best for some reason. So I have high hopes
True.
now.
Yeah.
So,
I hope.
Well,
yeah, don't disappoint me. No,
Um,
I'm just kidding.
to that credit, yeah, we usually, like, for the most part, write stuff separately from each other and then bring it in later.
Mhm.
And like the few things that I've written, like that's also been the case because like most of the time I write music, it's not really like this kind of vibe. So once in a while, I'll have something that I feel like fits, and then I'll just it. And then like I don't know, like Piece by Piece was like it was like the first I don't know, like 2 sections of it, and then something completely different. I sent it to Carl, and he was like, "Yo, ditch this whole half of it and like do other stuff."
Did I
And was like,
say that?
yeah, no, you were right though. Like it
Okay.
changed like energy. Whatever my first idea that I sent you was, I was just thinking about this recently. Why it came to mind. Like there was like a completely different thing. It like changed energy all the way, and it was like bad. So, and you were like, correctly to your credit, you were like, "What if you stick with how the first part vibe was?" I was like, "Okay, cool." And,
All right.
and then I like sent the rest of the song after that. But
I
that kind of
vaguely
thing.
remember that now. Yeah.
But to
So,
that point about Connor's song, that thing that he did with the like the Remo Drive ripoff thing that we ended up like reworking. That was the first time that we had actually like come up with music together, and it was like one of my favorite memories of being in this band because we never like sit down and like come up with new parts to a song usually together. It's usually like
Yeah.
kind of all
Yeah.
written
I
in
loved
place, but
that.
we kind of like hammered that one out in practice, and it's a lot of fun. There was like we orchestrated a 3-part harmony on that one, which is the first time we've ever done that, and it's just nice because we sound like friends on that song.
But it really like it was really unique in that way though. Like I'm really looking forward to doing more of that because it was kind of like we had like excitement, like we were just like little kids toying around with instruments. Like one of us would do something really cool, and then we would all look at that person like, "Oh my god, like no way!" And it was just this like really exciting, cool thing that like we finally, fell into and we got to do it. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
New
looking
song
forward to
has the
more
time
of
skip
that.
or change in the middle.
Okay, so to follow up, like so basically, let's say for example, Carl writes the song like some lyrics and the guitar part. Does he take it to you for you guys to like write your own bass parts and drum parts, or does he like write some of the drum parts and just have you guys play it? So how does that work?
I wouldn't say write the drum part. I saw it in the earlier days. In the earlier days, I had like a baseline idea for what I wanted the drums to do. But as time goes on, the songs I'm writing, I feel like I'll hear something that I want, and then Ethan will come up with something that's just monumentally better because he's the best. So
We
But-
trust each other musically.
Babe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like never once as a person like showing each other a song, be like, "Oh, you have to do this exactly." It's like usually like, "Okay, here's the song. I trust you know what to do, so just do it." And that's
Right.
pretty much what it is.
I have done that a little bit where I've been like, you guys have to do this exactly when I bring in the song, but that's just because I'm cool. But but then they bring their own flavor and it becomes way better because of it.
because it's kind of like this, right? Like say you like an artist, right? Like someone who actually paints stuff, and you're like, "Hey, I want you to paint this thing for my house." You're not going to then go to the artist as they're painting this painting for you and be like, "Okay, I want you to do this exactly this way and exactly this way and exactly this way." You're going to that artist because you like what they already do, So it's kind of like that. Like we all trust each other, like Connor said, we all trust each other
Right.
with what we do and everything. So we all give each other, freedom to do whatever.
There is a
if
song
we have
on
any
this album, though.
suggestions, throw them out.
There is a song on this album that Carl did a whole like demo for like many years ago and then like forgot about for a while and then he
That's
like,
right.
and that's like the only one basically that we had that had an actual demo before it became like we don't
Yeah.
usually do that. Like I've been a part of other projects where we will like record full demos and then bring it in to like explain it, but we never do that. We usually just like show one part and then everybody kind of like does their own thing on top of it. So
So
to answer that question,
sorry.
I guess it's collaborative, sort of.
Yeah.
I see. All right. So I have a few questions about like individual songs. First
Cool.
starting off with like the classic song, the one everyone knows, the biggest song to date.
What
Fast Food.
Oh, that is a classic.
That's not.
Plenty
I
Cam classic.
don't think that's the one that everyone knows, but
Greatest song ever made. It's in Rolling Stone's top 10. So
I'll have to go reread that.
that's
But
news
thank
to
you.
me. But I believe you.
so I've heard two stories. One
Two
story was
stories.
one story was fast food was not actually about a restaurant, but like more like a metaphor for something. Or two, Carl just went to go get McDonald's or something one night. and
Can
wrote a
I
song.
ask where the first story came from? Because that's hysterical.
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
All right.
Did you make that theory up? And also, metaphor for what? 'Cause I want to go with that.
The
I don't
first
know.
one's hysterical. Yeah. It's a.
Did you just hit yourself in the face with a lamp?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't hit yourself in the face with a lamp.
Yeah,
Actually, this theory actually came from Lane. Lane made this theory.
Oh no, it didn't. This is a lie.
Dude,
Don't
my
pin it
cat
on
was-
Lane now. He just hit
No,
himself in the face
honestly-
with a lamp. Don't pin it on him now.
I
For
prefer
what?
video.
You know?
All right. So and if it was about the restaurant, which I'm assuming it is, obviously, what restaurant was it? All right, we
It was
need
about-
to know this.
Yeah, so the restaurant in question, it was about the Wendy's in Manchester, Connecticut, right near the Buckland Hills Mall. And honestly, the only explanation I can give for it is there was a point in my life where every Thursday night, as the song says, for like 3 months, every Thursday night, I would legitimately go to Wendy's because I had guitar lessons there on Thursdays. So on the way home, it would be
You
around
had
dinner
guitar
time.
lessons at Wendy's.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, Wendy taught me how to play guitar. Yeah, but the guitar place was like a few minutes from the Wendy's. So on the way home, we would stop there, and I just kept going there. And I had the music written, and I didn't really know what to make the song about. And it was on that EP, one of the heavier, kind of, I guess, darker, I guess, sounding things on the EP. So like, clever me was like, oh, you want to be really funny? So if I took this really dark sounding song and I made it about me going to eat Wendy's during the week. So I did.
I heard this theory in like a comment section like a year ago or something. So I don't know exactly the source.
It's funny that
So
none of us.
It's
heard
funny
about it
that
because
somebody
one of our
thinks
comment
that.
sections.
somebody in this world thinks this.
I-
Don't tell them.
hope
it's
that-
not a
I hope-
metaphor.
Yeah,
Let them keep thinking that, and also
I-
tell them to tell us what they think it's about because I'm curious.
I'm very
Yeah.
curious as well.
I'm just trying to think a metaphor of what like
It's a
freedom.
metaphor for the socioeconomic political landscape of post 9/11 America, but pre Whitney Houston death. Like that's sort of what it's a metaphor for.
I think it actually was something like that.
Perfect.
That's crazy. The fact that someone
Isn't that
has
the name of a CNN special?
What?
Nothing.
Post 9/11 pre Whitney Houston death of America? Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Okay.
worried
God.
about it. But yeah, the fact that, you know what? That's awesome. I love that. But that's what the song's about.
So,
To me, at least.
Free Whitney.
basically, oh, okay. So I'm gonna ask like a few more questions about individual singles and go back to some other things and wrap it up soon because I'm hungry.
Nope. No
So
problem.
okay. So for Wander Away, this is your first single, I believe. Other than I Saw Her Standing There, which was a cover. So this is your first original a single.
That's correct.
Oh. And so I was wondering, like, was there like more songs written before Wander Away that were
Yes.
supposed to be singles, or did you just
Well, yeah, not necessarily, because I'm trying to remember, Ethan, was that... I'm going to guess that was maybe there's 5 songs on that EP. I'm going to guess that was like the 3rd or the 4th. I think that was the 4th one
Yeah.
to be written, right?
Yeah. Or
Yes.
or, I don't know.
Yeah, so there was
That like
already...
5 years ago.
Right. So there was other songs written before that one, and it wasn't just like a thing where I was writing it like, hey, this is the single. But once we had all of them recorded and we listened back to them, we were like, okay, yeah. Because I don't know what it is about that song. Maybe it's just because it's like
Yeah.
most dynamic out of all of them, because it's got the no drum intro. I really like the chorus on there. But yeah, I don't know.
I
Most
it's
I think it's
Carl's
like the most
first, like-
kind of single. It's like the more single material because other songs they're like really thoughts blend together with the feedback in the intro. I don't know. I didn't really see the other songs working as single, so I thought that was a good pick.
I
That's
think
kinda what we
Wander
were
Away
thinking.
is
Thank
Carl's
you.
first like big boy song. You know what I mean? Like all the other songs on like Fungus are very good considering it was written by like, 15 or 16-year-olds. But like Wander Away to me is like his
Yeah.
first like big boy song. It's like the first I think it's the song with the most confidence on Fungus, because I heard it
Yeah.
before I was even a fan of before I was even in the band, I was a fan of them. And like that was easily the song that you can tell between the two of them. That was like the one that had the most like
Right.
confidence
So
behind it.
It's also the
Um,
one that if we play material on Fungus, that's 9 out of 10 times the one that we'll play live
Right.
Yeah.
these days. That's like the go-to usually.
I believe so. Connor actually messaged you to ask if there was any bands around there that needed like that he could play guitar in.
Dude, this guy is Nardwar. I'm convinced. Yeah,
I messed up.
that's correct.
Yeah. And so and then you guys reply like no. And then so
That's
after
as
I
I've been
don't
told,
remember
that is
this happening.
correct.
I assume that Carl was just like. Gave
Yeah,
some
no, it
idea,
was me. It was me because I
'cause I
remember
didn't
that.
see that at all.
Well, because
Yeah,
like
we
I
also,
wanted
like,
to join
switched-
their band because I knew it was a two piece, but I was like, no, these guys are too cool. They don't want me in their band.
No, dude,
Which
we
so,
So,
I was like, all right, well, let's see if
were
they know
trying to find a
people.
basis for like a long time.
And I didn't. That was the facts. Is that he messaged us and
We didn't
he
know any
messaged
other
us,
people.
asked the question. Yeah, yeah. So that was it. I answered honestly, and I was like, no, I don't.
didn't
If
you
you ask-
actually learn bass to join the band? Like you weren't playing bass beforehand. You're
Yeah, I
strictly
was
guitar?
I was a terrible bassist. I could only really play like Misfit songs, and I joined just being like, well, I'll figure it out, and I did, and so
Huh.
it
Yeah,
kind of
figured
worked
it out.
out well. So yeah, it was weird because like I couldn't write like a walking bass line or like a bass line that has melody or rhythm or groove or anything. And then Carl showed me, I think it was Buy Back What You Sold. And it was the first time I wrote a bass line that was like actually good. And so after that, it just became easier and easier to write a Kim Normal bass line. Which, and I
This man
thought
has an
all it
absolute
is like
fucking
if you listen to like 90s emo, like Sunny Day Real Estate or like fucking this band Braid, it's all it is just like it's like emo 90s bass playing.
I was just gonna say this man has a fuck of a sense for a melodic bass line. Like I've been listening to this album a lot again.
Yeah.
Because I'm still.
I don't even know how. I don't even know music theory.
And
I mean,
yeah,
Neither does Paul
I've been,
McCartney,
like,
bro.
Yeah,
I've been
there's
telling
Paul.
this to my
So.
friends because like there's also like a lot of like crazy music theory stuff that happens like by accident in some of these songs.
Mhm.
I have nothing to do with it because I didn't write any of those parts. And sometimes I'll be like, "Yo, this thing," and they're like, "Stop." But yeah, no, it's really cool and like, especially on this record, there's a lot of moments like that on the last one, but this whole album is a moment like that where like it's just
Right.
like nonstop. Like,
Let's see.
the bass lines kick my ass.
Carl is teaching Connor the bass lines to the Fungus EP. And so the story goes that Connor just starts like making the bass lines his own and like adding a few new notes to it. And then so is this like when the band clicked, like this is how it's meant to be?
Well, the band clicked the moment Connor walked in the room to play with us for the first time. Basically, what happened is I met Connor, we hung out, he played, and we hung out. We were playing drums, guitars, switching instruments, and then eventually I popped a question to him. I was like, "Hey, we really need someone to play bass for
He
us."
said, "Will you marry me?"
And then I asked him that. But yeah, we told him, we were like, "Yo, we need a bass player," and he was like, "Okay, yeah, cool. I'll try it. Why not?" So then what happened was we all met up at Ethan's place. And Connor took the time to actually sit and learn all of Fungus on his own. So once Ethan's gone, whatever. He'll come back, I
He'll
guess.
come back sometime.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
there he is. So what happened was he came in and he already knew all of the Fungus record. And like the moment we all hit the first note we just played it in order. And the moment he hit the first note of Thoughts Blend Together, like with the bass player, we all kind of looked at each other like,
We were just
yeah,
like,
okay,
yeah.
this is it. Like, finally, thank God. So we played through the whole EP, and that was pretty much when it clicked. And we were like, all right, he's the guy. Because we all liked each other. Killer bass player, fucking great. We were like, all right, awesome. And the reality was that we had On Your Own Wave to record very soon. We were gearing up to do it soon. So we all went to a music store. Connor bought himself a bass, that Ibanez bass that he's beating the shit out of at this point. But bought that bass, and then I went back to his house, and I think what you were asking is then I showed him the songs for On Your Own Wave, and in doing that, as I showed him the songs, he started constructing his own parts for that.
Yeah.
And then when he started doing that, we were both just kind of like, whoa, like this is like next level stuff. Because the bass parts on Fungus, I played those on the album, and I'm not a bass player, so I just did a lot of root note following and not a whole lot of embellishment. Then when Connor started, doing the lines on Your Own Wave, the bass lines, he was flying all over the place. We were both just kind of like, this is awesome,
Yeah. I see. So Connor's bass amp breaks during recording the song, I believe. And so
Remember that?
Okay, yeah. Some
remember
rain got
that.
in it, and it was a little fucky for like a couple hours, but it got
And
fine.
it was the wrong couple hours. Like,
That
was
sucks.
the
Oh, it was
worst.
so
didn't it
terrible.
happen again? Didn't we try to do it again and then it happened again or something?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Because I don't take good care of my equipment.
That was
I'm
the
like
first part of the
Carl and
question.
Ethan, like are very like careful with their equipment, like whether guitars, amps, drums, or whatever. It's just like they're very cautious of it. I don't give a shit. I destroy and ruin everything. You know what I mean?
I saw in the gear video, like it's all beat up to death. So
Yeah, everything I own is terrible. You know. So,
Carl, you've known Connor for longer than when you joined the band.
Yes.
Yeah.
because
Yes.
he was playing at his elementary school, and then the girl broke his guitar, and he ran away from you, and you were like, "What?"
Exactly.
Carl broke his guitar on purpose to be mean.
No.
Yeah, he was a real asshole back then in 4th grade. You gotta understand.
He also
So
killed Whitney Houston.
But yeah, Connor.
Whitney Houston just died, so yeah, this was like he was off the rails. He was
Yeah.
not feeling good.
But yeah, Connor had Connor unfortunately had someone at the back. I heard this backstage at the talent show where he was playing or something. Some girl like ran over his guitar or something and like tripped over it and broke a string on the guitar or something like that before
so
the
his
show.
dad rushed home to get a guitar from him. Yeah,
You know,
Connor, is that true?
I was actually
Right?
there. I was there
Yeah.
preparing for the interview.
actually, funnily enough, I have that guitar that she broke the string on, and the same string is broken. I mean, it's been strung many times since 5th grade, but it's here. Wait, no, did I have that guitar? Whatever, doesn't matter.
Been strung one time.
Doesn't matter.
I remember it being like a hollow body or something, but that could be a
Yeah.
lie.
I got it right with me right now. It's in my
Flip it
room.
around. Flip it around.
You wanna see it?
We need
Yeah,
to
I
see the
wanna
hollow
see it.
body.
Bring it around
I'll-
town.
I'll be able to. I'll remember immediately if it was the one. I'll
Hold
remember.
on.
This guy remembers
Shut the
4th grade
fuck?
like it was
Hold
2
on.
years ago.
I don't know how. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's my fucking cat. So yeah, that's the
That's
guitar
the
right
one.
there.
What brand is it? Is that an Epiphone or?
Yeah, Epiphone Dot. This was like the first quote unquote real guitar I had, and Santa brought it to me, believe it or not. So yeah.
So I have one last question for you guys before I go because I'm really hungry.
right.
So you guys are obviously like really big supportive because your scene is from Connecticut, obviously. So I was wondering, what is your favorite record store to go to in Connecticut?
Oh God! You know what? This is actually easy. My favorite record store to go into in Connecticut, because I've been going to him for so long, and he's been so good to me over the years. Ian from Records of Good Kind
Yeah.
in Vernon, Connecticut, is the fucking homie.
Yeah.
If anyone watching this has any willingness to travel to Connecticut, you need to go visit our buddy Ian at Records of Good Kind in Vernon.
No.
Because
Yeah,
the thing with Ian is it's not a whole lot of used stock, it's a lot of used stock, but just the used items that the guy gets in like continues to blow my mind all these years later going there. It's just it's crazy. Like the stuff that he has, like I'll go in there and I'll be like, oh, this isn't gonna be as good as the last time, and then he will just continue to blow our minds. Like the last time that Connor and I were there, every time Connor and I go record shopping together, we're like not closeted, but we're like closeted 80s metal freaks. Like we love that stuff. So every time we go record shopping, we're always looking for Anthrax records, and we can never find any. So last time we were at Records of Good Kind, I'm going through this pile, and our buddy Ian just happened to have like a bunch of Anthrax in stock that day. It's like the stuff you imagine a record store will have, he has it every time you go. You know,
My
See,
mom
just
found
one of those
the first pressing on New Alliance Records of Milo Goes to College there.
Really?
I've found like the first like British pressing of Out of Step by Minor Threat there, and also an original of Bug by Dinosaur Jr.
I've been trying to get Lane to listen to Milo Goes to College, but he hasn't yet. So
Dude,
Lane-
do it because you'll become obsessed.
well, you know when you asked us at the beginning of this interview about
38
like
years late to the
massive,
party.
yeah. Well, I mean, when you know at the beginning of this interview, you asked us about like massive musical influences on our lives and stuff. I think for all three of us, that record would be one of them in particular.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
I'm not
110%.
even kidding. I'm not even kidding you. Once you listen to it, it will be the only thing you listen to for a very long time.
In my
Like,
opinion, it's the best punk album
What
ever
if he
made,
just
as
hates
far
it?
as I'm concerned. That's okay. He likes Plastic Ono Band, and that's a kick-ass record. So that's
yeah, definitely. All right. So all the record stores here in Maryland like suck, but I went to Pennsylvania to hang out with Lane, and we went to this record store. Lane, what was the second record store we went to? What was that?
Oh, the Attic Records in Pittsburgh, PA.
The Attic. Great store. I got a copy of Bleach on colored vinyl for like $18, something like that.
nice.
That roommate
at you.
from Pittsburgh, I'll text him about it.
Yeah, get
Called The Attic.
yeah the Attic.
I remember that.
Oh, it's that place that's in the basement, right?
Attic and basement?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I think that's it for me actually. So yeah, any last things that you guys want to say?
Thanks for chatting
listening to
with
our
us.
goddamn
Yeah,
album.
crap.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
This was a blast.
Futuresque is
Yeah,
out August 6th on
Yes.
CNN.
Oh yeah, August 6th. New Kim Normal album. Go stream it. This will probably be out like 2 days before. 2 days before, I'd say.
Hey, cool.
The album comes out. So.
Oh, yeah, it's 1 week.
Yeah. So everybody go check that out. If you don't already know Kim Normal or subscribe to them or listen to their music, go do it now. They will change your lives. And yeah, so
For the worst.
that's it for me. Yeah, so Nardwuar are out, and we'll see you later.
Toodaloo.